You're here on Assetto Corsa for what is basically a non-canon episode. As you can tell, it's not an episode, it's a broadcast, and this should take about 3 hours? Somewhere between 2 and 3. Assuming I'm not interrupted by something, which, given that it's 11, I doubt, but with really, I never know. Because every time I usually think that I can do something without being interrupted, I get interrupted. 4 out of 5 times, it's my dog. And the other 1 out of 5 times usually be me being reminded to do something I was already planning on doing later. Anyway, all that aside, this is basically... I mean, I gave such a definitive name to the broadcast, but it's just basically... imagine if the time loop cars were used here. So every character that is in this championship is in the Assetto Corsa equivalent of their time loop ride. Our first starting grid here. There's also, of course, kind of a serviceable return to Assetto Corsa for the first time in a few months. Probably, I'd say 3. 2 or 3. The game favoring the Mercedes drivers. Vert, Wheeler, and Ryan Storm starting second and third. And Gearhead, the singular Porsche, is not having a good day. Maybe it's not with that camera. Let's get a look at the middle of the grid here. So Carbon's in this race. It's a known thing that he's supposed to be the number 3 Audi R8. So I didn't feel like anything was necessarily groundbreaking by having him included in here. And, well, things are starting off about as they usually are. Not much has happened in the first couple of corners, and the problem with Laguna Seca, the way it's designed, I'm not really sure we're going to see much of anything happening here. Especially now, with the cars being much more evenly matched than they were in your typical original Universe Zero episodes. All these are GT cars, so they're all kind of meant to match the specific specification of the category. Meaning that, well, yeah, there are, of course, differences. Slight horsepower differences, some weight differences. Different aspirations take place as well. Some are turbo, some aren't. Of course, different engines, different cylinder counts. So, you know, things have to be taken. Liberties have to be taken for that. But they're all kind of designed to be even with each other, and it just kind of comes down to driver skill. And of course, that's not always a perfect system, but it's the idea. Samurai Track still leads the race. Of course, the gaps aren't going to be anything major here. What's interesting to note, and I feel like I've probably mentioned this a couple of times on the original series, Porsche has 3 models in this game. The 2016 Cup car, the 2017 Cup car, and the RSR 2017. The RSR is technically not even GT3 at all. And as such, is considerably better than the other cars that you'd find here in this race. The 2016 and 2017 Cup cars, however, they're actually underpowered. Well, as Burnout gives Gearhead a little reminder of his existence. Ryan Storm has clawed his way right to Jack's rear bumper. Let's see if he's cavalier enough to actually try something with it. I don't think with the run he got out of that turn that he can do anything of that sort. Now you can see Gearhead's, the difference between Gearhead and Buttercup has... He's like a second slower per lap than Buttercup. And as a result too, Burnout is also kind of indirectly being taken out of the race because he was caught behind Gearhead, has not been able to find a way around, and he's pretty much out of contention for scoring any kind of points. Even if he was like the supreme AI character here. Ryan getting a little pushy with the Samurai up there. You know, in the original Zero series of the thing, Samurai Jack wasn't a full-time character. He was a one-off, and he was given a full-time spot in Time Loop because of his experience with traveling through time. Therefore being, you know, topical. Even though Time Loop is actually not necessarily time travel. It's a reference to the fact that time goes faster. So, but, you know, the, you know, whole chronal time-based property of what was happening in the plot seemed fitting enough. You know. And because he's also the most relevant Cartoon Network character other than maybe Ben 10, because he just got to season 5 not long before, if not after, a little bit, the series first began. If viewers, somebody I know, they're going to be incredibly confused. I'm going to look at comments in between races, but I'd rather not interrupt the race by looking at a comment, because then, well, the race won't actually be on screen at all. And those three are basically glued together. Sonic gets much closer to Vert because of his terrible exit from that turn. Well, back up the comment tells me it's either somebody I know or it's a troll under the bridge, but can't wait to the end of the race to figure that out. So drop the remote. Oops. Just dropped it right on my knee. That was unpleasant. You know, the amount of distance... I like how the fast laps are shifting around, too. It's been 3 different drivers across 5 laps. And... well, 4 laps completed, rather. And... one of which was the opening lap, so... you know, it's a little bit encumbered in that sense, as well. Yeah, what, it was Otto, then it was Ryan Storm, and now Blossom has the fastest lap. Samurai Jack could have had it in the previous lap, but he was promptly bumped by Ryan Storm. See if he does it again. Now he holds back this time. He manages to not slam into him. I don't think... it doesn't sound like the cars behind had the same courtesy, though. It's interesting how much the, it's like seeing how much the leaderboard changes around, but realizing, like, you know, literally the only 2 people in the positions they started in are Sonic and Samurai Jack. Yet, any character that moved around only moved around 1 spot. With 1 exception. By the looks of it, Alex has gained 2. Which, I mean, who's really surprised there? Burnout has still not gotten around Gearhead. Sorry, Gearhead, your vehicle choice really doesn't help you. Because you picked a vehicle that's... technically that model's not even the one in the game either. It's just a matter of the 2016 car is so terrible that I wouldn't even put in this championship. So Gearhead is going to have to deal with being the F-tier vehicle for the entirety of this championship. Maybe let's deflate his ego a little bit before we go back to time loop, man. Of course, there's certain plot-based things that are going on here, too. One thing to notice is the complete absence of... Well, okay, forgot Governor. But other than Governor, none of the Golden Tetrad are here because they're on vehicles that aren't on this game. Technically, the SLS AMG and the Z4 are on this game, but because none of the in-universe characters technically have any of them, other than Thrasher, who doesn't really count in this context because he's not actually a Universe Zero character, he's just literally a real person that's been given a trademark car. And he's not part of the series, and he's not part of this championship. You can look at who commented. Oh yeah, I don't know why I didn't think it'd be you, Tyler. Anyway, so of course details too. I'm in the Ford Mustang as my own vehicle. Both is kind of a reference to the fact that my username is now MuscleTone71 for reasons I've explained in a previous episode. PSN basically put an update that let you change your username, and kind of ironic, I got sick of Race Car Man, which also defeats the purpose of Race Man as a character by that no longer being my username, but at the same time, he hasn't really done anything anyway. To the point where he's not even called that in the normal series that uses the actual Hot Wheels games. And he's appeared in, I think, one race. I don't remember which one it was. And he didn't exactly do that great. So... But yeah, so this is a reference to the fact that that is not my username. So this is just basically MuscleTone watching the races. Let's see, in our starting grid this time. Now, the game is a servant of chaos. It's putting Gearhead starting second in the underpowered machine of the Porsche. I don't think it'll be as meaningful here. The AI are better at passing here than at Laguna Seca, but that doesn't mean that they also, always will. Change the HUD around, for some reason it defaults to this. Yeah, like other within canon things are referenced here, such as, the three Lamborghinis. One of them is Greased Lightning, and that's not just because Greased Lightning's a major character. That's also just simply because of the fact that the third Powerpuff Girl is currently in an Enfield Care Center. And where are you going, Sonic? Did So Fast just juke you out there or something? Oh, a car! However will Sonic react to this car? I don't know. But anyway, it made something happen that was interesting. Samurai Jack is looking a little faded from what he did the last race. So how about that, Tyler? A Nissan won a race. Which he and only he will probably get. You know, it had recently occurred to me that Burnout and Burn have obvious similarities as far as basically having half the same name. But the problem is, that didn't occur to me until after the character had been official and I'd taken the picture of his car and put the video on YouTube and any other kind of finalizing event that took place. We have something actually happening up here. Well, we had anyway. Alex and Dexter going at it. I think Dexter was actually defending position. I think. You never really know. Gearhead is still in second. However, I think that's just exclusively because of the fact that So Fast, and therefore everyone else, couldn't get around him. It may change on this lap though. These incredibly fast Lamborghinis as far as straight line top speed might even gain the edge on So Fast here. He might. Ryan Storm is out of here. Like, he's already halfway to Tiki Island by this point. Thanks to Gearhead being a very effective blockade, but nothing else. Sonic repassed Blossom, and Alex has gained another place. Carbon starting to shuffle down the field a little bit. Nissan's getting a little aggressive. Buttercup and the Governor now. Well, we're fighting for about 8 seconds. So Fast will try on the outside. Gearhead literally cuts him off. That's Gearhead for you. Remember the talk I had in the original series about how these two were supposed to be a couple? Of course, it's all fanfiction. Well, this entire series is fanfiction. But I'm basing what I'm saying off of other existing fanfiction, which no person in a position of officiality would ever even begin to confirm it. Because honestly, other than being nerdy redheads, they're not compatible at all. And I think everyone would, and I think everyone knows, or everyone at least should know that. Although it's still better than the fact than trying to get the Powerpuff Girls and the Rowdy Rough Boys as a couple. Like, they're literally designed to hate each other. How are they going to be in love? I will never understand it. I don't remember where I saw it, but a while ago I basically saw this thing that had said, like, every fandom has those bad people in it. If you say that there aren't, then you are one of them. I used to think that it was actually the case, because I didn't think there were any bad people in the Powerpuff Girls fandom. No. I have slowly realized that it's anyone who thinks that Blossom and Brick would be a couple, when they're literally designed to hate and desire to destroy each other. Now, that's not an exclusive relationship, I don't know what is. So Fast and Sonic, the two things in this universe known for being fast, just about kill each other up a hill. He's fighting back here, never mind. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I mean Ryan Storm. Jesus! He's like verging on like 15 seconds ahead here. Sonic might finally have the place on Gearhead. He's got the glorious inside line. Gearhead's basically in the grass for some reason. Finally, somebody has passed Gearhead. I don't know how in the world it took that long. But I guess Sonic just gotta go fast. So, yeah, there you go. The only hope I'd had was that maybe that opened up Gearhead to other people passing him, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. So Fast is gonna try. So Fast is gonna succeed, because Gearhead just panicked and moved out of the way, and that gave Blossom the position as well. So Gearhead gets passed by one car, and now his entire career is just collapsing onto itself. Is what it would seem like here. I was like, I'm gonna put the camera on Carbon while I check my tablet, and then there's nothing happening on my tablet. So back to the action. Because there actually is some in this race. As opposed to the last one, which is basically just like cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha with sports cars. Dexter is gonna go on the outside. If he makes this, that just proves... yeah. I see that canonically good setup that Dexter has for his car still exists here. Because that takes a lot of things to do. a lot of car handling, a lot of car speed, a lot of driver skill, a lot of driver bravery. And, well, now Gearhead's down a place, so there you go. Dexter apparently had all those things. And by that I mean Ryan, is coming to the final lap here. With a very, very healthy, what must be like 20-second lead by this point. Ryan is like halfway to Barcelona, or Monza, or somewhere. Yeah, even now Sonic is released from the vice-like grip that Gearhead had on second place, he still isn't really matching Ryan Storm's lap times. So fast, along with his convoy of redheads, and we just have absolute lunacy going on back here. What is this, like, dog pile? I guess it's still Gearhead, or just like, what the heck? You know, Carbon started in 6th. I want that to be known. He is about to fall out of the points-paying positions. If Buttercup and Burnout can stop arguing over whose job it is to take it from him. Which apparently they have just done that as I'm talking about it. And now... started in 6th, and if Buttercup gets a move on... Carbon may not even score. And if Gearhead gets, like, wrongly done here by Bert, which he wasn't, Bert just didn't have... I guess he probably lacked car handling. Because I have a hard time believing he doesn't have the courage or skill to do it. It is a big, huge Mercedes after all, so handling isn't really the order of the day. But speaking of Mercedes though, the other one in the race is coming around the final turn here to definitely take one of those classic Universe Zero wins where the driver in second place isn't even on the mini-map anymore. Now the mini-map is terribly big in this game compared to something like Project Cars. Or, God forbid, an open world racing game. But that still means you're pretty darn far away. Gearhead will somehow take a 6th place, despite his underpowered vehicle. And not Buttercup. No, actually, Carbon just, Burnout? What? I guess Burnout did take the position, but the leaderboard in games didn't know how to react to that. And he would actually have passed Alex in another corner, but he just... The race is over, so, you know, that doesn't really help you any. And we are getting right into the thick of it here. This is not what was supposed to be here. Well, screw it, we'll do it live. I guess we're doing this twice now. And if anything, this should be the finale, not the, normal version, but at the same time... I don't know. I guess we'll call it the SNES and MK8 Rainbow Road, or something. There's not supposed to be 2 of this race in here. At least they're both 2 laps. At least I didn't mess that up. You know, what about it that I guess today, the day before I have to get up in like 12 hours to be at a doctor's appointment, and also the day where I have a sore throat, possibly coming from my mom's cold that she's had over the last few days, then I decide now is the best day to stream for 2 to 3 hours. I am a genius, and you cannot deny that. Except you actually completely can. The problem with a track that's probably bigger, older, and brighter than... Or probably bigger, older, and more popular than I'll ever be. Figures it would take half a century to load the thing. Alright, let's get into see the starting grid of this race. No Corvettes, so there shouldn't be any problem with AI finishing the race. The game really likes Ryan Storm. I'm beginning to notice. Also, this is the top 4 were all in the top 5 of the last race. The only one that didn't get paid for her troubles of passing Gearhead is Blossom, who starts in 13th. For a muscle car, this thing doesn't sound that intimidating. I'm just saying. Alex is already encroaching on Gearhead's spot. He takes it with ease, and then goes for Carbon, and tried to go for Burnout and Dexter, but couldn't get alongside. Carbon just about ran into that wall, as did a couple of people, really. Ryan Storm is being pressurized by SoFast, who does barely keep it there. Not that Ryan Storm had the handling to cut him off anyway. He is now no longer there. I was hoping to see Blossom move up from her terrible starting place. Nah, she's gone down, and unless she makes this corner really well, might be in last. Or Vert can nearly run her off the road. That would also probably influence that. And yeah, that's exactly what just happened. So, Blossom is in the low light, and Buttercup is doing no better. Okay, well, I get you guys have straightaway cars, but like they also have some handling too. Samurai Jack just about tail slid into Gearhead there. I saw that. As for the rest of the field, there is not much happening at all. Like, wow. Of course, Gearhead creating the great divide between the top 7 and the bottom 7. Effectively putting anyone beneath him out of contention. Unless it's, even like right now, I'm pretty sure the only one that could even gain any more positions, getting higher than 8th, might be if, Otto breaks through. Because Samurai Jack isn't a Nissan. He doesn't have the car for that. Not that Otto's McLaren is a vastly superior option, but it's better than the Nissan, usually. Well, thankfully, although also very uninterestingly, everyone decided to keep it single file through that section of, well, corner. I doesn't say corner, it's one turn. Bit of air for Burnout, who's sitting at 170 at the end of that straight. Missed input there. Oh, and I botched it! Yeah, this is where the Corvettes would have problems. They would hit that curb, and Burnout kind of had a problem with himself. They would hit the inside of that corner and just tail spin out of control. Unfortunately, we never would see it live, but believe me, it's a problem. That happens literally every time. I think someone actually has had the problem. Grease Lightning's had a problem, by the looks of it. No? been put in the sand or something. Hang on. I'm gonna check that. Where is... There it is. Let's see. But why would you do that? I don't know how that didn't damage his car. What? No stupid head, Buttercup does the same idea. That's the Samurai Jack, but they recover their car. But he gets a bump while in the grass, and he about goes overboard. Pun not intended. The way his car ended up facing after that crash is probably the only reason why he's still even in the race. That's not Buttercup, man. Come on now. So yeah, Jack overcommits trying to pass Gearhead. He ends up in the grass. Buttercup kind of follows, but they both back out of it. And then Grease Lightning just kind of doesn't. I cannot lie, for what the Nürburgring is, this race has been kinda lame. See, when the Gearhead isn't at the very front, he actually just makes things more boring instead of less, because he's basically taking 5-6 cars away from the front pack that could be making the race up front more interesting later on. But instead, we just basically got a conga line of very fast cars that would probably like to be fighting for a points position, but they just can't get in them because there's no room to pass Gearhead here. Or anyone for that matter. And definitely not somebody as nuts as Gearhead is. And there's the first example of how not interested I am in this. I do know that section is very interesting for the Nissans, whose suspension doesn't always allow them to take those properly, especially when Otto puts himself there and Jack nearly spins him out. Should have gone the rest of the way. I don't know what you were doing there. And the governor also made it out alive, but his terrible exit from the turn lost him the place to vert, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think Bro was ahead of him before. Sonic getting a bit of a breakaway from Storm here. Not much, though. I don't remember which is the faster vehicle in a straight line, but if it's the Mercedes, then in about a minute's time, that gap will be basically no longer there. These four are pretty close together, and they're the only part of the lead pack that is really close, but that doesn't always mean anything anyway. Close and battling are different things in the series, although I didn't even notice Otto's gained 3 places since the green flag. Just about destroyed Gearhead there, which would have made good sense if he had done that. It is Otto, but he just managed to break enough and not catapult himself into him. And based on the McLaren's performance in Project Cars, I couldn't tell you which one of these two is the faster model. At least, you know, straight line speed. Of course, normally, the McLaren has way better handling than even the Porsche that is competitive in Project Cars. Even though it's actually the 2016 model, but it's not the Cup spec. So therefore it's, you know, the correct amount of horsepower. I can verify that the Mercedes has the straight line advantage. Sonic's 171 to Ryan's 178. Yeah, I think his is a little better. So fast Audi kicked him up to 180 though. 83? Okay. Well, yep, so fast indeed. Not that it got him anywhere. I guess it got him away from Dexter and the Ferraris, but didn't really get him anywhere else. Lamborghinis are also nuts. Buttercup had to actually lay off there. She didn't just destroy somebody, but Blossom doesn't have to do that, and she might reach 300 kilometers an hour here. Almost 185 for a split second, and then, well, corners. Oh! There we go! That was what you call the domino effect. And that was a little comical, to say the least. Okay. Die. There it is. And I'm gonna go to an actual chase camera, and we see this play out from Flash Gearhead's perspective. Only we could turn the camera around. Gearhead makes it out of this, but by being so slow and Samurai Jack lacking cornering, instead just kind of causes Otto to slow down. The girls decide they don't need to react to that, and they both just take out whatever car is in front of them. It results with Otto and Buttercup likely being completely out of the race. I think TV1 gives the best view of what happens here. So yeah, the girls are a little aggressive going in, and they about tandem for a split second before Buttercup and Otto are forced off the track. Buttercup is going to try and get going, I guess, but Otto is just blatantly giving up. Let's see what she does. They don't know how to use reverse, I don't think, so Buttercup just gonna kind of sit here and ponder existence for about 20 seconds before throwing in the towel. Yeah, they just don't know how to react, I guess. Of course, they're definitely not out of the race. They could easily just recover their cars, but not like that. They just don't really feel like it, you know? With the long straightaway done with, Ryan has caught back up to Sonic. What good it will do him, I don't know, because the Ferrari has the better cornering. So fast, Dexter, Burnout, and Alex are further away, Carbon a little removed still from them. Samurai Jack is now Gearhead's only threat, with Otto having been run off the road by the Powerpuff Girls. And yeah, basically Otto was literally in a Vert and Cartoon Network sandwich. And the fact that Vert actually got out of there fine is kind of shocking to me. Because he was getting hit by Blossom, and if Buttercup spun Otto around, I don't see how Blossom didn't do him in. I guess maybe she knew to let off when things were going wrong, and Buttercup was just like, oh, this is gonna be fun! And then didn't realize that she'd put herself in the grass. Ah! Now Ryan's actually close. He's in striking distance for a human. But for being an AI, he's not going to try anything nuts. These four seem inseparable by this point. It'll probably take a crash for that to happen. For them to separate, that is. I hope I'm foreshadowing, but I doubt it. Yeah, Dexter doesn't have the speed advantage, so he can't even try and pass, but Burnout and Alex don't have an advantage over him either. The only thing I can actually see happening is Samurai Jack gets a nice run here. He doesn't. But he has the top speed over the Porsche. It's about the only thing that Nissan really has in this game. But he's not going to be close enough to where he would even try anyway. Samurai Jack gets a disconcerting amount of wheelie time there, and Vert's actually clawed his way back into this group. He was 4 seconds away from them at the end of the first lap, and now he's definitely got Samurai Jack in his sights. Blossom's issue has fed her back into Grease Lightning, who has had his own problems. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything crazy from them through that section. Carbon has been firmly in the middle of every race, it seems like. Everyone survives the left-hander here. I don't know when Governor got damaged, but okay. I still want to know how Grease Lightning doesn't have damage to his car. He was basically sideways. He was on the side of the wall. He hit it so hard. And the game was just like, well, that doesn't matter. I did not want to do that. Can you tell that I have nothing left to say? I'm just trying to keep cars on screen. Because I have nothing left to say. That just plain simple. I don't know what I should be saying here. Despite the folly of Buttercup and Otto, it seems like this group of two is going to catch those three, and I thought Samurai Jack was actually going to try and pass Gearhead here. I was like, are you crazy, Jack? They might catch them. I don't know if they will necessarily, but they do have the advantage of straight line speed, and oh, now it's telling me that he has damage. Yeah, no duh, he has a lot of damage. Thank you, game. I realized that already, that he has plenty of damage. Seems as though the carousel was no problem for any driver up here. So now let's watch to see if the Nissans, the ones that have the problem with them, because they have too much torque. If Samurai and Governor might have a problem. Or Gearhead. Oh, Samurai Jack is sideways as all heck. But recovers. Governor doesn't even care. He's just not even phased. That's Governor for you. Even if he's in 13th, he still shows signs of incredible experience. Probably experienced it the first time and is like, okay, don't do that again. Noted. Blossom's gotten up to Vert. Using her immense straight line speed, she could theoretically get around one of these two. down the back straightaway, assuming that he doesn't just straight up wreck them over it. Ryan's lost the plot with Sonic a bit. He needs to stay close enough to get a slipstream. That's the only way he has any chance in heck. It's about the same gap they had at the end of the last lap between Ryan and Sonic. Let's see that top speed go into play, Ryan. See if you can get up to him. I don't think so, to be honest. Dexter has no answer for SoFast's top speed here, though, so SoFast will all but claim third here. It's a matter of, does Dexter have the advantage over the Ferraris? More importantly, Burnout, but just in general. Governor does have slipstreams, so he can probably stay close enough to SoFast, but he doesn't have what it takes to dive him at the end of the straightaway. Burnout does not have the advantage. As the second pack is just now entering the long stretch. Bert seems already like he's gonna try and pass Samurai Jack. He doesn't even need his slipstream, apparently. You can hear Blossom in the not-so-far distance. She is rapidly closing on these two herself. Sonic will win, Ryan Storm directly in tow. No change between these four. Carbon actually got closer over the course of that lap. Probably his top speed at that. And nothing really doing here. Actually, Bert did clear Samurai Jack, with or without draft. Can Blossom actually take the corner and not destroy Samurai? She tries to hit him, or she doesn't try to hit him, she hits him, tries to move him out of her way, but gets no results. And that's this. Honestly, I don't even know how to describe this race. Let's describe it as over. How about that? It's over. Doesn't matter anymore. It wasn't that great. The only thing that made it interesting was the fact that Buttercup and Otto were wrecked. And we're on to Silverstone, as the British people would probably say it. And I say probably because I've heard them say it that way. Clearly there's an O there, not a U. It's not Silverstone, it's Silverstone, but you know. Buttercup and the Governor, the only ones not to score yet. Sonic and Ryan are running off with this one, and even if they start in the back, SoFast still couldn't take the points lead, even if he started and finished in first. Alright, well, my controller is now plugged in because its battery, its batteries are dying on me. Let's see what the sorting grid has this time. Well, they're going to give SoFast the chance to recover some of his points, putting Ryan Storm in dead last, but Sonic still in a prime spot to minimize damage. And more importantly for him, gain a bigger lead on Ryan himself. Buttercup has been given a glorious opportunity to finally score. The governor are in the same boat. They start directly behind each other. The Nismos followed directly by the Ferraris on the starting grid. There's a very Teen Sonic pattern going here. Not the intended thing, although Sonic is one of them. Alex would definitely not be a Knuckles, he'd be more of a Shadow, but not the frequently angry type. That's about the only distinction, really. Well, that Alex hasn't gotten his own game detailing his really confusing storyline. I'm sorry, what are you people... Okay, I thought they were much closer together. I was like, what are you people doing? Governor's going to take that spot back. Going to try, anyway. He will probably not succeed, though. And as such, just probably fall into line behind, or get passed by Alex. That also works. Not really. So Fast has made good his escape plan. With no immediate competition, he can just get away from Buttercup and hope that Ryan Storm can't make too many places, as he's already made 3 in 1 lap. Oh dear. I see Ryan Storm is having the mechanics syndrome of, I am suddenly good at driving now when I used to just be a commentator for the longest time. Vert doesn't like that, I guess. Went for a pass to the S's. Like, what are you doing? Is that Lamborghini straight line speed coming into play, but unfortunately, that's a Nissan. You're not getting much of a leg up on that in a straight line. A straight, not straight. It's weird. It's like trait. Reset button. I broke myself. Okay, that was awkward. So, it's like straight. It's like I pronounced a D instead of a T, which is still pronounced dra. English language not making sense. Why can't I go to Canada where the English language is optional? The English is language. Flippin' A! The English is optional. God, me! Come on, you're a commentator. You're supposed to be better at talking than that. Huh. Vert's had a bad day. He must have been hit by, I guess, I don't know. Who hit him? Ryan is now in points, however, not more than Sonic. And Sonic is, I think, leading points. Logically, if he's won 2 races in a row, or, no. It what? It went like, what? Didn't it go Sonic, Ryan, Sonic? Or no, Samurai Jack won the first one. What am I talking about? So this race basically serves as an equalizer for Jack and So Fast, a chance for Buttercup to redeem herself, and a chance for Ryan Storm and Sonic to fall down a peg but still be even with each other. Blossom will try again on the Governor. May succeed this time through. Yes, she shall. I swear, I can talk. Okay. This race isn't boring me when I'm yawning. Otto with the fastest lap, despite being in 11th place. I noticed too, Grace Lightning's been a little off this game here. I mean, he had his what should have been race-ending collision in the last round, and now he's down, just barely keeping himself out of last place versus Vert. You are not doing that, Burnout. I don't care who you are. You're not going too wide out of that corner and staying alive, let alone taking the place. So Burnout really doesn't like Samurai Jack getting a leg up, obviously. Blossom has now made her way to this group. I also like how Burnout and Alex, like, despite, you know, all three Ferraris started right next to each other on the grid. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Burnout and Alex have only moved up since. Burnout trying to move up even more. And this time I think he might do so. Indeed. So, but yet, those two have been moving up. Sonic has moved down. He's gotten the governor behind him, but he's lost places to both Blossom and to... I'm blind, help. Am I stupid? He's been passed by Blossom, but past the governor. How is he down a place? I'm just confused, clearly. Ah, screw it. I'm breaking myself again. Oh, I'm dumb, because Governor's still ahead of him. Wow, me? Oh, now a voice crack too. Yeah, I just have everything come into play here. My God, I am failing miserably at just being a commentator. Gee, maybe because he hasn't been around the Governor yet. Really, me? Am I that stupid? Oh, dear. Alex's turn to go for the Samurai, and he will not have the same luck. She was not close enough, so Samurai Jack could take his line away. No real detriment, though. Blossom wasn't even remotely close enough to challenge him. Gearhead has been shuffled down to last. You can see the lap time differences there as to why this keeps happening. Monica hasn't lost much, given that it's so fast, but at the same time, she's also not really at the beginning, the start of the first lap, first set of turn. So take an inhaler. An asthmatic kid with the throat's cold is not a good combination. There goes Alex again. Can you make it a disappointment on the last corner, or last set of corners? Yep, Samurai Jack is kind of a pushover to that turn, it would appear. Ryan Storm couldn't convert points. He got passed by Otto at some point, and Otto then also passed Carbon. Almost denied Sonic of some points as well, but it was not to be. Alright, it's now incredibly close between the top three, and then from there it's another 9 points to 4th, and another 8 more to 5th. And then anything from 5th on down is incredibly close. Up to, like, 14, or up to 14th. Everybody has now scored, and we go to... Well, I say it's the famous Brands Hatch. In real life, it's just kind of there. It's well known for being older, but it's also not like it's anything incredibly special. It's just a matter of it's just kind of omnipresent in Universe Zero. It hasn't even appeared in Time Loop yet. And this is, for all intents and purposes, the Powerpuff Girls' home track, based on how many times they've won here. Specifically in their KTMs. No, I see Grace Layton's there. Well, looks like they're trying to keep Selfast, kick him back out of the championship. Gearhead is on pole. This cannot go well. I didn't change the HUD. Oops. Yeah, let's go on board with Ryan Storm as he about throws into the sand trap. If only I was, or knew anybody that was good at editing, what I would want to do would actually be some kind of a best of Universe Zero series of like our moments, like a montage type thing from the original 20 acts of like just the craziest 20 moments and big crashes. I know it's not exactly an original concept, but it just seems like that would be the way to actually finish off the series. Let me change the camera angle now. The Governor going for the lead. I don't know why it took him this long to process the idea. But now he is putting it in motion and does it with ease. So fast, actually suffering here. He's down to blatantly last place. Which is obviously not what he needs if he's trying to compete with Ryan Storm and Sonic in the points. Thank you, Captain Obvious. But needs Gearhead just find himself stuck on a curb and loses another place. Blossom managed to quickly buy her way into the fight for the front, and then also get her way out of it almost as fast. If not faster, for that matter. Gonna make Bert be inconvenienced, and yeah, she will take that one back at least, I think. A lot of curb, but she's also taken the line away from Bert at the end of the corner, so that's basically that position reclaimed. It is now the Governor versus Ryan Storm for the win of the race, unless Alex can somehow get around Gearhead and argue that statement. Which, him getting around Gearhead is a given. Him arguing with the Governor and Ryan Storm, not so likely at the moment. Now, Burnout and Samurai Jack going in too wide, Bert versus Blossom. I think Bert's gonna get the better of it this time. Blossom will now re-lose that position, if that's even a word. Buttercup is still running for a point spot in her home track. That's her favorite one. Preferable track, not her home track. She doesn't live in England. They're supposed to be in a version of California meets Seattle. Alex, well, I don't know how he didn't do it on the first lap, but he's going to try on Gearhead again. Actually, he's not. He's not close enough. And Ryan Storm is in the process of taking the lead away. Got a lot of curb that otherwise would have been position done, or position taken. Still is anyway. Governor couldn't get the exit of the turn right. And that might just settle the race right then and there. Blossom versus Burnout now, and Blossom rising just as, or falling just as quickly as she rose, and yeah, now there's another position lost. She needs to focus on getting to the inside of that first corner if she wants to gain the spot, or if she enjoys losing them, then I guess stay on the outside. But now she's got her own sister to contend with. And we all know how competitive Buttercup gets sometimes. Most of the time, for that matter. You know, a few good turns is all that Blossom would really need to get back up there. With Gearhead creating a giant train once more. Only the Governor and Storm are exempt from. And yeah, I can safely say Ryan Storm has also got this race won, pretty much. Alex doesn't seem to have the top speed to get close enough to Gearhead down the straightaway. Ferrari, unlike in Project Cars 2, lacks in power. Burnout now looking for bonus points, going for Bert, and it seems like he will get that as well. No, Bert's going back to the inside, but that's kind of hard to stick because of the way that corner is designed, so he will just fall back, and now the two power puffs going at it inverts rear view. Blossom stuck on the outside has to yield another place, and now here comes Otto. So she will lose probably another place unless she gets a sudden burst of top speed and can keep Otto, I think, from getting that place. Yep, she will. That's one way to do it, I guess, if you just put him in the sand. I think because it's Alex and not another model of car, that Gearhead's actually seriously going to keep third. And that is not helping you in any shape, in any form. Actually, that just helps Sonic. Now make a problem out of it. Now I'm gonna give you more problems. Gearhead misses the turn, so Sonic will make a double pass into the first corner. Burnout will now take advantage and get around Alex and put it underneath Gearhead's car, where he can't make anything stick. Gearhead gets on the curb, so now Burnout's gonna go on the outside, and he will gain 2 spots in a matter of corners. So Gearhead will lose out to every Ferrari that's not the one that's been behind him for the entire time. This is clearly not an Audi track, is it? This does not bode well. McLaren's battle for a moment. Dexter gets away. And here comes Ryan around the final turn for his second win of the championship. First in Mugello. Now he's going to take one here. Rather convincingly, Governor another 3 seconds-ish away. Almost 4. However, didn't gain on Sonic as much as he probably thought he could have from where Sonic started. Alex, even after the race, still couldn't find the way to get around Gearhead. Next we have Monza, the other big classic of the series. And it gets even more distant at the front of the championship from between So Fast and Sonic is like, what, 13 points? Remember? Yeah, it was 13 points between the two. Due to Sonic making a big push at the end and gaining 10, which was probably 4 more than he thought he was going to get. Taking advantage of Alex's uncharacteristic mistake. And now we have a race where, if nowhere else, this is the track for the Audis and Lamborghinis to make up for their past failures that just took place. Because Monza, of course, is an outright top speed course. You don't need much else, as long as you have enough top speed to hit 300 kilometers an hour, and enough driving ability to make a right-hand corner. If you can make chicanes without going off into the runoff of the course, you're probably fine. Because, you know, the number of chicanes, and the fact that they're here at all, are what present most of the challenge of this track. Gearhead is on pole again, and the girls, as well as fellow Lamborghini Grease Lightning, are in a prime place to use their top speed to just basically escape the entire race. Carbon and So Fast are still getting absolutely screwed here, but Sonic and Ryan Storm are also at the bottom with them. And Sonic, as we know, that Ferrari does not have the greatest top speed. Not compared to the Lamborghinis and the Audis. And go. It's about spit everywhere while coughing. Unnecessary details, I'm aware, but you have them anyway. Gearhead has a bit of top speed, this far anyway, but his handling just is not there. And both Lamborghinis rear end the vehicle in front, doing small damage, but nothing severe. I mean, Gearhead will actually gain the advantage over Grease Lightning out of the chicane. You have to figure that Gearhead, of anybody else in the series, raced here the most recently. However, there's his only advantage that I think he has to his name. The other guy's in the back to me. Still in the back. Burnout's actually joined them, but he wasn't much further ahead anyway. Ryan and Sonic are actually following each other through the field. They've just passed Alex. Also, more uncharacteristic actions from Alex here. Alex will try to go back at it as game show host, but just kind of wimps out of it. Is this even the same person? Alex, come on now. Lamborghini drivers tend to like to get very close to each other when braking here. This could also be their undoing, or an advantage if they just push each other out of the way. Grease Lightning finally gonna set the world straight and get around Gearhead. Blossom Buttercup also runs into her. And Blossom may just be completely out of the race. Oh, okay, well. Okay, well. Okay, well. I don't know what Governor did to you, but... Dexter, I can't imagine really liked that, given you two are supposed to be allies. You know, the whole save the universe from the giant alien thing, did we just kind of forget that, or... I guess it could have just been blind rage, although Blossom doesn't usually succumb to that, that's Buttercup, but... I'll digress. Dexter really didn't lose anything from that, despite, you know, Blossom trying to put her car under him. Dramatic camera, what the heck? Race cam, please. Replay is flipping the hell out. Hang on. So Blossom is just out of the race. That's basically won the race for Grease Lightning here, with Blossom taking him down. Buttercup looks set to do the same like Grease Lightning did, and just straight up pass him like a normal person. Yeah, so now if the replay would be so kind as to allow us to see this. Yeah, don't think Dexter particularly liked that. But somehow, some way, Dexter didn't really lose a place from that. Mainly because Blossom also blocked anyone else behind him. So that may have ruined his chances of gaining more, but also allowed him to keep the ones he's gained, because he's already gained 3 in the race. And also doing a heck of a job of keeping Ryan, Storm, and Sonic out of many points. Buttercup has already taken over Gearhead's spot. Samurai Jack would be the next 2, but he's kind of got a bit of distance to cover for that. See if Gearhead gets a little aggressive or not. I don't think the Porsche does that though. No. Otto will put himself here and get nothing. Need to be on the left for that. Dexter successfully defends from the Hedgehog. I'd have my doubts, but I guess we can see if Buttercup can maybe get her way back up to Grease Lightning here. Despite the whole they're in identical vehicles thing, and the fact that, of course, you know, Grease Lightning is probably the better driver. And Vert go on Samurai Jack, probably being held up by Gearhead. And both will go for the pass on him in the same corner. I think Vert will get around him before the corner though. Synchronized braking and everything else. Gearhead manages to keep his vehicle there out of technicality and defends from Vert. So even in a terrible car, Gearhead does show infrequent, although, but does still show signs of talent. And Buttercup has caught half a second in that lap. That won't be enough to get her the win though, but she might be on his exhaust by the end of the race. No, keep making corners like that though, and she will be right on him before the end of the race. She's already within like a second now, I would say. And now she'll have Slipstream down this straightaway. Meaning, yeah, we could see a battle for the win between Buttercup and Grease Lightning here. Which, that will be intense, I imagine. Bert will not have the top speed to challenge Gearhead here. Buttercup's damage from hitting Blossom is probably not helping her. I don't think Slipstream will be enough from here to get her to Grease Lightning. But depending on her aggressive braking patterns or not, she might get up to him and be close enough down the other parts of the track and such. But I don't see it. I don't see that happening. Grease Lightning actually pushed his limits way too far, and that has definitely given Buttercup the one-way ticket to paradise here. Sonic, Alex, and Dexter are very also close. Burnout not too far away from them. I do believe he has the fastest lap of the race. Yep. Not by much. The Ferraris are actually kind of showing up here, despite their lack of top speed. Buttercup is definitely in very concerning distance for Gearhead. Grease Lightning here. All of the speed flows to her through this draft, but this set of corners here isn't even a place where you'd think of passing unless you're Burn, who isn't here, so... Just consume the curb, why don't you? I mean, whatever works, I guess. Bert at some point in the past has passed Gearhead. These two cannot seem to do the same, given where they are. Samurai Jack kind of obstructing Otto with that objective. So Buttercup, unfortunately for her and for Grease Lightning, may have to resort to aggression to have a chance here. She doesn't, but instead chooses to resort to waiting, and that's not how you win the race. And they never get terribly aggressive into this turn, so I think that's basically just giving Grease Lightning the race by not capitalizing on his failure. Vert has set an incredible lap time there, compared to what everyone else is setting. More laps, and Vert would also have been an interesting factor as well. He might have probably caught them if this were a 7 or 8 lap race. He may still technically catch them, but he won't be in a position to pass them come the final turn. Samurai and Von Diesel still unable to even attempt to pass the robot. The singular robot here. Samurai Jack will apparently try here. It's going to not get him anywhere at all. Yeah, it's day late and dollar short for Buttercup here. She had her chance and she just watched it drive away. And so Grease Lightning headed one of the Lamborghinis, but Grease Lightning will eke out this win at Monza. Gearhead will somehow get 4th place, and a massive conga line forms behind all of them. And then we have to go back pretty far to find anyone else. Due to Blossom's event in the first turn. Sonic and Ryan are both an entire race worth of points ahead of SoFast. As we reach the, as we've now passed the halfway mark of the championship. I'm just gonna really quick bring the broadcast timer up on screen. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half, so when I'll take that away. Not do that. Begin loading spa, and I'm going to grab a drink because my throat hates me right now. Hopefully I should be back not doing the start of the race too much. not a very wide berth back here. Anyway, I'm delayed 2 minutes. However, the drink has seemed to do nothing as far as making my throat work better. Well, Ryan Storm is not having the greatest luck. Sonic isn't much better off. So Fast doesn't have the greatest starting grid spot to fix it, or to help improve his chances any. I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm trying to grab the beverage I left. I left on the opposite side. Still having the English problems from the Silverstone race. That's not how you return to the pits. There we go. I have now remembered how to video game. That's a very Cartoon Network top 3. It would be great if it would be picturesque if it stayed this way. Or better yet, if Buttercup joined them, but I don't see it, personally. It could happen. Otto can't pass them though, and Buttercup has to pass both of the present Velocity X characters. So maybe it's more likely than I think. Because you got the jump on Alex. Actually, what am I talking about? Alex got the jump on So Fast and Grease Lightning. And passing Gearhead shouldn't be that much of a challenge. So actually more so the matter of passing Otto and hoping Blossom can remain in front of Otto. As the McLaren 650S is honestly more of a force than I remember it being right now. Sonic has fallen to last, getting passed by both Bert and Ryan. If So Fast wishes to get within one whole race of Sonic in points, he would need more than 8th. I think he would need to just pass Alex, mainly. Yeah. Just pass Alex. Like, it's that easy. Dexter is out of here. Yeah, apparently the 650S seems to enjoy Spa. And why they called a racetrack Spa, I could not tell you. Dexter's already gained 3 seconds on his other Cartoon Network allies. I think Buttercup has lost her opportunity to make it a top 4 for Cartoon Network. Gearhead's held her back way too long to catch and pass Otto. She might get the place here, but I think it's almost too late even if she does. Which, it seems she will. But now she has to gain 2 seconds on Otto. And then still pass him while he is right on top of Blossom. And, by extension, Summer Jack. AI seem very laid back in their approach to this race. You can see the clock over there is having some frame issues. The lap timer is not going as smoothly as it normally was for a minute. It's fixed now though, it seems. Governor dragging the other remaining drivers that are not a part of this mid-group, following Gearhead up there. Alex looked for it, couldn't find anything. He will instead be passed swiftly by So Fast, which that is precisely what he needed. Buttercup hasn't gotten any closer to Otto, it would seem. She actually might need Blossom to hold him up for a while. Or just to have an unhindered chicane that also will get you up there pretty fast, as you see here. Yeah, okay, now she's close. There's like probably still a second and a half or more away before that chicane, and now she can basically spit on Otto's rear wing. Should So Fast be able to pass Gearhead, specifically down the straightaway and not much later, that will basically clinch a 6th place for him, and therefore not ideal, but still a decent number of points gained on Sonic and Ryan. He's got a lot of momentum going down the straightaway, up the hill, down the straightaway. It is actually a bit of a decline here. Not a noticeable one like it would be in the corner beforehand, but it is still uphill. Gearhead's defending. Gearhead is no longer defending. So Fast now has the place. Can't get over because Gearhead's still there, so that's going to hinder him a little bit. Hinder both of them a little bit. Alex is now really in a position to take 6th away. 7th away. Buttercup just stalking Otto, but not really finding herself an opportunity to claim the spot. I mean, I guess patience, especially in racing, is a virtue. Especially when your target is this close to the next car in line, it is hard to slot yourself in safely and keep the position even after you've gotten it. And then assuming too, if the 1, 2, 3, 4 is their end goal, Buttercup then needs to keep in mind, try and refrain from going for 3rd. Because that can just leave Blossom vulnerable to being passed by Otto instead. Buttercup not feeling the aggression. Alex still not clear of the robot, and there's now a massive train going through the chicane. Sonic goes for a spot on Bert. Ryan's back to last. Sonic get that spot, although at this point it's just a formality. Dexter is 11 seconds ahead of Samurai Jack. Dexter is on some otherworldly stuff here. Buttercup is exactly where she was at the end of the last lap in relation to Otto. I'm not sure what it is, but Alex has really had a big issue getting around the gearhead, getting around Gearhead in this championship. And speaking of getting around, here's Grease Lightning and the Governor. Governor able to defend much better than Grease Lightning, or than Gearhead can defend, but Grease Lightning still puts his car there. And they're much closer together as they go into this turn, though, than when it was Gearhead against So Fast. but the inside will usually win in any given turn, so Grease Lightning will gain that spot. Buttercup still basically mimicking her positioning that she had on the last lap. The exact same distance away from Otto and from the other two by extension. Don't look now either, but So Fast is now also getting his way into this fight. And if he does something crafty, he might actually sneak 5th place from Buttercup here if she doesn't get a move on and claim 4th from Otto. The fighting would make it easier for So Fast to catch them if Otto and Buttercup ended up getting in a conflict. But it would also kind of mean the person that got out ahead would basically definitively claim that they will stay ahead of So Fast. Whereas right now, it's not really set in stone that Buttercup will stay ahead of him. As now, So Fast, having an unhindered chicane, is very close, not even a second away. And Samurai Jack is now almost 15 seconds away from Dexter. Jeez. Ow. God. The nose is spasming, coughing. Yeah, I definitely got my mom's cold here. If there was any doubt earlier today, there isn't now. Alex just kind of doesn't want to pass him, it seems like. He just lets off as soon as he gets a momentum advantage over him. Blossom and Samurai Jack have an argument. This will allow Otto to either go by or slow him down. It has slowed him down. Buttercup will try to put herself there. Backs out for some reason, even though she definitely could have probably even passed him here had she not done that. You guys just don't want to pass each other, do you? Stop letting off. You don't pass people by being off the gas. And once again, we're back exactly where we were before, except now Blossom is in second and Samurai Jack is blocking Otto and not both of them. Blossom is actually beginning to stage an escape from this group. But unless Buttercup does something erratic into the final chicane, will not be a Cartoon Network top 4. Which, I mean, it is Buttercup. She still could do that. But given how the AI have treated this race as basically just a Sunday drive, I find it unlikely. Might not even be a podium walkout for them, as Otto has found himself alongside of Samurai. Backs out though, wisely actually, because that corner is not something you want to be next to somebody for. And by a long period of time, Dexter wins the race. Another lap and So Fast probably could have given Buttercup a run for her money, being as lackadaisical as she has been. A 16-second margin. I believe that does top what was managed before at Jello, but not by much. Now we go to good old Barcelona. We've seen plenty of this track as of late, haven't we? Unfortunately, in this series at least, Barcelona has the history of being very processive in nature. That's the problem. Thrasher, you know him, he and the group of us are in a Facebook Messenger thing, and he has killed many spiders as of late. And, let's start the race. I didn't look at the starting grid. Seems like Ryan Storm gets a chance to retake the points lead. If not, extend it. I'm trying to, like, explain this to somebody while also trying to find something. Thrasher has just killed his 5th brown recluse spider in his car. Which, if we're not engaged in spider knowledge, I learn about what I fear. I'm arachnophobic, so yeah, they are not deadly, but they definitely affect humans, medically speaking. I didn't remember what it is. They do, but it affects you. Just get it off my screen, darn it. I'm getting very itchy from looking at the pictures. And, I engage in accidental bubbles impressions if I see one, or any spider, if that isn't a daddy longlegs. If I see an actual spider, I'm known to become a female for about 3 seconds. Anyway, to racing. Carbon gets his chance of redemption. He hasn't had much in the way of good races lately. But due to the nature of Barcelona, he's able to stay with the leader. As there's literally 5 other cars, though. Excuse me. And Blossom, however, is not having the best run of it. Well, if ever you really need to know how to deal with spiders, Wikipedia is going crazy with the information. Gearhead is actually kind of staying with the guy in front of him here, with So Fast. I've paid zero attention to this race. I've been looking up spider information for no apparent reason. I hate that. It's kind of an anomaly because of the weather here where I live in Minnesota, spiders aren't very common. People in the Midwest live with millions of brown liquid spiders every day, and bites are still a rare occurrence. They tend to stay hidden, so if you do nothing, you will probably be not bitten. First of all, great grammar. Yeah, but they're very common in the Midwest. Minnesota, the most Midwestern part of the state, is not where they live. They're in Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, not here. And I could not be happier. This race has been kind of bad. Not very entertaining at all. Sure, maybe I've been missing something by not looking at the screen, but it doesn't seem like I've been missing much. Ryan Storm is looking to win his next race, his third of the championship here. He's only got just over a lap of race to go, and he's got a 3-second lead over the Samurai. It's funny to think that despite the fact that we're almost 30 episodes into Time Loop, there are still characters that haven't even been seen yet. You can think of 4 right now that have yet to appear. I don't believe any of said characters were in the preview. They were all afterthoughts. Yeah, because there's the 09, there's the 27, there's the 28, not 27. The 92 and the I'm blanking. I can think of 5 that haven't appeared yet, actually. Duro, despite having been brought up before, hasn't actually appeared in a race. Remember right? Oh my god. My throat is beginning to object to this treatment. As you can clearly tell. Anyway, Ryan Storm is going to objectively win the race by like probably 8 seconds, I'd say. Samurai Jack takes an interesting second place, just basically because he started on pole and never really got challenged. And poor Little Blossom couldn't really get anywhere. Ryan Storm is running away with this, man. He's got a 15-point lead. He has an entire race over Samurai Jack. Sonic's not even second in points anymore. Ah, I forgot to be commentating. Whoops. Alright, so here we are, Red Bull Ring. Of course, this is where everything started. Both series kicked off at Red Bull Ring. Because I thought of it with its simplistic track design, as this would basically be the basic, basically the pterosaur of the series. Pretty simple track design, not much challenge to it. But the design still allows for some crazy racing. I was very slow on that one. So it seems now the starting grid has decided that Ryan Storm will now lose points to Samurai Jack, as he need only clear McLarens to win the race. However, as we learned at Spa, that's not the easy task that I once thought it was. I mean, sure, he made that pass on Auto look relatively easy, but Dexter's already got a second on him. And heck, Buttercup can actually do it this time. We might have another CN podium lockout here between almost the same exact people that had the original at Spa. Blossom will not be joining them. I can verify that. She's actually lost places on the opening lap. Bert is dueling with Carbon, as Ryan Storm has already made his way into the points. Sonic has just faded away in this championship. First half he was a competitor, now he just looks meh. Otto is still within range, but does he actually care to try? And is it in his best interest to try if he's not certain? Because Buttercup is once again stalking him from not all that far back. And if he puts himself in a bad spot and loses a lot of time, Buttercup can easily finesse the position. Gearhead falling down the order as usual. Bert will be the next to claim his place. Unless he messes it up astronomically. Brainstorm versus Burnout into the third corner. Yes, it is the third. Apparently the little kink up the hill is a corner. So I basically have to constantly remind myself of that fact. Burnout, that's the grass. You ain't gonna do much passing there. A little bit of a special request too, specifically for you, KeyBabe, but for anybody else that would leave a comment referring to the events of this broadcast. Preferably give a timestamp, or at the very least specify the race that the thing you're commenting on happened. Because we're going to be having a 3-hour stream here, and if we're going to refer to a specific incident and not specify when it was, it's just going to confuse me. And probably slightly annoy me too. Like, if we could just say something like, oh, if you're just commenting on the thing that happened at, you know, X racetrack. Okay, oh, this, you know, remember back in the Nordschleife race when this happened? You don't have to give a specific timestamp, but I at least would like to know what race to look in, so I can cut it down to a 7-8 minute window rather than, you know, somewhere within this 3 hours and change time span. This one thing happened that was amusing. Doesn't really help me much, you know. Speaking of not helping, Samurai Jack is sitting in second again, and once again feeding into the massive lead that Dexter is going to get. Basically just going to repeat Spa, but Blossom is not up at the front. She is no longer in last, to her credit. She has passed Alex and So Fast, which is quite an accomplishment normally, but apparently they just don't feel like doing it in this race. They just don't feel like driving fast. It would seem, anyway. Her next target would be Sonic if she can get close enough, but I'm not so sure. Dexter is setting incredible lap times, gaining almost a second a lap on Samurai Jack, which isn't nearly the gap that he was making up at Spa, but to be fair too, this is also a much shorter track. Vert is still yet to find a way to clear Gearhead. Gearhead actually kind of has some breathing room between himself and the Congo line that's usually right behind him. Blossom has overtaken Sonic. So I guess my apprehensions were proven false. head incredibly itchy. Well, yeah, this race is also kind of crap. Kind of bad. Even Gearhead didn't factor anything in here. Even he kind of captured he started. He started in like... How did you gain spots, Gearhead? What happened? So he gained spots on the Governor, Sonic, and Carbon. Gearhead had a bit of a breakout race, I guess. Okay, me? That's not how you spell that. That's honestly crazy. Yeah, I guess if there's one state to live in if you're arachnophobic, you live in Minnesota. As I read this, I'm still looking at spider stuff. Insert Spider Alley music here. About 10% of the world's roughly 35,000 known species of spiders live in North America, but of only 3 native U.S. species are poisonous to humans: the black widow, the brown recluse, and the hobo spider. None of those call Minnesota home. Alright, so Imola. A track that hasn't really had a good showing in Universe Zero for any character that's raced there. Also, can we just talk about what a gloriously disturbing name the hobo spider is? Like, who named that? People also frequently ask, are there spiders in Minnesota? No, what do you think, forehead? Yes, there are spiders here. Oh, what do you mean that's not a link? God darn it. Alright, starting grid. Well, Ryan Storm is not going to have a good day here. And Sonic will. Samurai Jack is not going to get any better. So this is going to be another wrench in the works of the championship. Sonic looks like he may be set to straight up win this race if he can outdo Burnout into the first turn there. Alex is actually going to try and challenge Sonic. He gets nowhere. Oh! He got nowhere, but Sonic went backwards, literally. Alex will continue, but Sonic is just an absolute shock. I guess he's out of rings or something. Who clipped him there? I've kind of established on a couple of occasions that being on the inside line for this first corner is usually just death. Let's get a TV cam on this one. Race cam, do your job. He returns and, oh, Carbon just slaps him. And nobody else had any problems. I don't want to change my tires. I have to say, spiders look a lot cooler in a picture than they do in person. Despite being itchy, I can still look at a picture of a spider. Well, that's just crazy. Spiders can breathe underwater? What are they, fish now? Give me a break! Where are they found? In North America. Great, thanks. Yeah, I figured that out already. Oh my god, it doesn't even look like a spider. Excuse me if I'm too much into spiders, but the racing is not much to be into right now. So... like, honest to god, everyone's like really damn spread out right now. I don't even know what this would do to the championship. I don't really think anything would happen. Samurai Jack has made some decent progress through the field, but that's about it. I feel like that must be the spider I see around a lot. Which honestly is kind of a cool name. Triangulate cobweb spider. Triangulate? Is it a spider or a robot? Alright, nice drift. Well, I guess we used to call you Drift King Ryan Storm, so that's thematic. I seriously have to wonder how do we get pictures of this stuff? Spiders run away from you. How are you gonna take a picture of it? Many of the spiders that I end up seeing, I think, are just little babies because their size is not impressive, hence the term baby rigger. And here's suddenly Otto. I didn't even notice he was coming. But yeah, the biggest spider I've seen was probably no bigger than a dime. And I had the very fortunate circumstance of having a magazine in my hands, so I didn't see it for very long. Second through fifth are kind of close together. Keyword is kind of. Not close enough. But yeah, so the spiders I always see are just indiscriminate, or indeterminate, indescriptive black spiders. Nothing on them, no interesting markings, they're just black spiders. And they don't do anything, they usually just run around in random directions when they realize they're being attacked by me. And they are nowhere near the size of these pictures display them to be. The cat-faced spider. Who named that? You are evil. Apparently that one's really common. The marbled orb weaver has 63 pictures of it taken from Minnesota. Oh, that's incredibly common. 113 pictures of that. I'm sorry. What? 108 long-legged sack spiders. That's a name. $205 dark fishing spider pictures. That is insanity. 204 bold jumper. That doesn't even sound like an interesting name at all. Why would I want to enlarge the picture? It's honestly insane to think that anybody would keep a spider as a pet. I mean, yeah, I would probably refrain from at least from killing them. It's just a matter of, generally speaking, when I encounter said spider, I have no means to escort them out of the area, or the area that I'm in doesn't really let me escort them anywhere else. Like, from downstairs in my basement, it is not at all convenient to have to go all the way up a flight of stairs trying to contain a spider in anything and eject him outside, or anywhere else for that matter. It just does not work. Well, other than the first lap, this race has also been a bit of a snooze festival. So I'll be glad in a minute's time when this one's over. A bad day at the office for Ryan Storm. Could never clear a gearhead, and therefore will be succumbing to finishing in the last of the running cars. Meanwhile, in the highlight, Burnout with a shock win here. I mean, he did start on pole, to be fair, but he hasn't really had the greatest results so far in this championship until now. Carbon, in a very storybook sense, will finish in second, with Blossom not too far behind, Vert, Beastlight, and Otto not much farther away from that. And Dexter will take the last of the scoring positions in 10th. Get some flames! We have 2 races to go. Classic Monza, and then we revisit the Nürburgring Nordschleife, the shorter version, ironically, one last time. It is now 1 point between Ryan Storm and Samurai Jack. Dexter is 11 away from the lead, but he is still theoretically in contention, especially if he has a good time at Monza here. However, his car isn't terribly suited to that, so I wouldn't hold your breath. And for all intents and purposes, Samurai Jack's success rides on him starting pretty close to the front, and ideally so, Ryan Storm not getting that treatment. Because at least here, his odds aren't high. The Mercedes and the Lamborghini have the best chance of winning here, but there are no Lamborghinis immediately in contention for the points right now. I'm pretty sure at least one of them is probably unable to win, period. Basically, if you do not have 40 points or more by now, you are out of the championship regardless. So, I think anybody lower than like 6th place on down may not fulfill that requirement. Just a random Ferrari guy standing there, holding his pit sign inside of my car. Alright, dramatic pan over to the starting grid. And who's getting screwed? Samurai Jack. Well, and it puts Ryan Storm in 7th. Okay, well, nope. No one else can really buy the way in with this one either. Actually, Dexter can get closer, especially if Ryan Storm doesn't gain many more places. This always looks so chaotic and hilarious, at least so to me, at the start of these classic tracks. Both Silverstone and Monza. But to see if Ryan could gain much of an advantage. Doesn't seem like it. Alex gets better go off of the line than him. Like the Ferrari has better acceleration, but the Mercedes has a better top speed at the end of it. Alex forced to wide off. Buttercup decides to not do so and miraculously keeps the car underneath her. Blossom has taken the lead from her fellow redhead due to that insane top speed the Lamborghinis have. Buttercup, on the other hand, is, well, doing that and losing places to other cars. Rainstorm has gained 1 place, but of course, the slap isn't even close to done yet. It's the full version, so we run the oval too. So, which therefore means, unless she does something stupid, Blossom might have already won the race, because she has an incredible top speed advantage. As you can see within the straightaway, Blossom was doing excess of 180, Dexter at 175. Selfhouse also benefits, so maybe he's the only one that can really take the fight to her in this race. Assuming that Buttercup and Grease Lightning do not interfere with that strongly. Somebody is already out of the race. It is Vert. What has happened to Vert? Yeah, 3 wide with the Ferraris will do this. Turns into burnout and just gets reflected. I really don't know why he couldn't continue from there. He was almost facing the road and he's just like, nope, I'm done. I don't care enough. Suddenly Carbon with his insane Audi top speed. Look at the bounce! Oh my god. How is he even keeping that car from just rebounding away? You're telling him to let off to not go into the wall. Claims Dexter's place. Gets blocked by so fast. This is just insane. Buttercup's gonna get a nice look at the show here between Dexter and Grease Lightning. Even Dexter is hitting 180 here. So Fast does make the corner crucially for herself. Buttercup does barely not keep it going. Nicely done. Manages to recover somehow from that. We are once again back onto the oval. Carbon getting a meaty slipstream off of Buttercup, and that's basically an easy position for him. Oh my god. Look at this! Dexter almost overcooks it. Hits the grass a tiny bit, but doesn't really affect it much. This will also give a pretty good idea of just how bouncy this oval is. See the car jittering a little already. Alex actually has a lot of momentum going here. And puts it inside of Grease Lightning. This will be a photo finish right here. Alex is losing momentum. Apparently the high side is better on this oval. And Grease Lightning will barely remain in third. Barely. Pretty much 300th of a second separating these two. And Samurai had the precise opposite of the kind of race he needed here. But advantage to him being that Ryan Storm didn't have one that went any better. Ryan Storm walked away with a singular point. So, theoretically, we have five people battling for this points win. Ryan Storm, Samurai Jack, Dexter, So Fast, and Blossom are all in contention. Sonic just 1 point out. Gearhead, despite having a significantly worse car, actually is not last in points. The Governor is doing not great. As we begin the second long loading screen to prepare for the final round of the Universal GP. Again, I mentioned this before, but I am aware that's a very definitive name for not a very definitive event. Ugh. Oh, hi again, Ferrari guy. Alright, well, the game has decided to do away with the nonsense of gearhead obstructing. Ryan Storm looks poised to win based on his starting grid spot. Samurai Jack has some work to do. Dexter, almost an unwinnable situation, as would be so fast. Awesome, went for a little bit of a ride there. She tried a bit too hard to keep Alex in her mirror. Samurai Jack has already gained one spot off the start, passing Greased Lightning into the first few turns. He's got a lot more to go, really. It's not all in his hands either. He's got to hope that Ryan Storm doesn't finish in first or second here. As well as the fact that he has to also finish pretty well himself. Ryan, you're trying a bit too hard, buddy, I'm just saying. He actually made that work. What in the heck? How did you just do that? He's not finished it. He's actually not gained the place at all. But he didn't completely stuff the car while going around the outside there. In itself is ridiculous. I can't foresee that corner tripping up anybody. There are no Corvettes, so no overly tight Okay, well, now we will see what happened with them. There's Die. Die is next. Oh dear lord. Burnout does not make it stick. Holy crap! Oof. Let's point out the serious riot that Governor went for in that crash. That took 3 cars out in basically separate crashes. So the Governor went for something last second, or just, no, he just missed the turn. And, oof, that is painful looking. And then we had Burnout here, who went for the outside of Buttercup. Could not pull the Ryan Storm, ends up in the grass, following Governor to their doom, and taking Otto with him. But I also want to point out, look at how close Buttercup gets to just facing death here. If she wasn't already braking for the corner, she'd have just absolutely destroyed the Governor in that moment. Wrong button. There we go. It's definitely the Mercedes show. Feels like I'm watching Formula 1 right now. Well, we're coming up on the carousel shortly, which means the Nissans, i.e. Samurai Jack, will have to be on high alert to not totally bit it in the wall. It doesn't really matter for Buttercup, for the governor, if he's not on the track anymore. Samurai gets a little loose, but does contain the vehicle. Just about, but he does. I can't be entirely sure, of course, how this top four will play out. But I can kind of confidently say that it's not going to change much. Sure, Blossom might have a bit of a top speed advantage over these other three, but it isn't by much. And, I can think of one possible outcome that would make her gain positions. As we've already seen it kind of play out once already. Alright, just full tilt through that segment, didn't we, guys? Not what I wanted to look at. This group is also pretty tightly clumped together, and if I'm Samurai Jack, I'm kind of scared right now, given what these two Lamborghinis performed the last time that they were near each other. Or, well, not these two, but two Lamborghinis were next to each other. It did not go well for Otto. This race already can't get much worse, because he's kind of not in it, but, you know. He's violently shaking at the statement. Especially not from here, the amount of top speed you might have won't help you, Blossom. Mercedes is fighting for position. Ryan Storm has a huge advantage momentum-wise. Slipstream probably had a part to play in that. And they both just kind of break even, basically the same speed. I don't think Blossom would even be close enough to mess with anybody from here. Vert did get awfully close, but didn't do anything. Samurai Jack has been smoked by several cars. Both Lamborghinis and an Audi have staked a claim in his position. Ryan Storm now taking the lead. I think this championship is just about over. Unless Vert does something incredibly ridiculous in the areas where I think he may even be able to do so if he wanted to, I don't think Ryan can even lose the race anymore, let alone definitely can't lose the championship at this point. Wasn't able to do anything there. And I don't think this stretch here will be any different either. He's pretty far back from Ryan. And yeah, I think that for most intents and purposes, we'll wrap up the championship for Ryan as long as he doesn't somehow crash the car. Buttercup and Grease Lightning went at it for about 2 seconds, and then Buttercup didn't have any more momentum to carry that out. Hi, Robo-Tree. Gig. Sonic's car is a mess. I have no idea when this happened. And I get the feeling that we will not be able to find out. But if I had to guess, it was probably something in the final corners. Again, these four are still kind of close together. I just don't see it really changing anything, though. Nothing doing for the top guys. The carousel. Basically, the Nissan drivers, for one reason or another, almost always get on the gas too early while they're going through that turn. That's why they always get a little upset through that turn. Okay then, Alex. I don't feel like you needed to hit the curb like that, but alright. No one really around here is getting any closer to anybody else. Buttercup, Greaselet, and Carbon are getting a little close though. Okay, maybe not so much Carbon. Buttercup and Greaselet are going to run too wide up the hill. Buttercup should have the position gain without too many problems though, unless Greaselet does something risky here. Storm wins the race and the championship. So fast, claimed Samurai Jack's 8th place in the very end, and that's basically the race. Just gotta wait for Gearhead's slow Porsche to cross the line, and we are done here. And, although I basically mentioned it about 8 times, the winner is Ryan Storm by 15 whole points. However, Ryan Storm had to defeat plenty of the Cartridge Network drivers, who ended up being more effective than anybody else. On the most part, anyway. On average, with the exception of Buttercup. So that'll be all for this stream episode, I guess, for lack of better terminology for that. I don't know when the next time I'll be using this game will be. Probably not for another long time. Project Cars 2 has proven to be superior in every single aspect, outside of the ability to name the AI on the go and watch them instead of having to play. But at the same time, actually playing the game allows me to have a better handle on what the plot actually does. Chapter mode again. There should be an episode going up later of the actual time loop content. If not later, then at some point tomorrow. Should I remember to do so. It's there, it's recorded, I just need to get, the reason to upload it.